Hi, I'm Councilwoman Laura Pastor in the heart of the city, rockin' District 4. I'm joined by Joanna Deshay, a mother, professor, and a CEO of her own fashion. How did you become a part of fashion? Where did fashion start for you?
First of all, thanks for having me. I think fashion was always in me. I can remember being a little girl and, I got a lot of hand-me-down clothes. I have two older sisters. And I was determined to make sure they looked different. I used to always ask, is someone else gonna wear this? And my mom would say, no, sweetie, you're it. So I would rip it and pin it and do everything I can to make it my own. And that love for fashion, I don't think it ever left me. Because even as I went to school, even as I went, through all of my business classes, I still wanted to create. So that creative part of me wanted to just make things that made women feel beautiful.
So my question is, you spoke about business classes.
Yes.
So your degree is in business?
I have, yes. So I have a business degree and I also have 2 master's degrees. So I have a master's degree in organizational management and I went back to get a master's degree in fashion design.
Oh, so you finally did it in fashion design.
It took a little while. Let me tell you why. I kind of went the long way, but eventually, and that degree, that master's degree was for me because I knew I wanted to do something in fashion, but I wanted to do it at a higher level. So that's why I went back.
So let's speak about a higher level.
Sure.
You went back to school.
I did.
You got 2 masters.
I did.
One in fashion, one in business.
Yes.
How did you blend all that knowledge into a business?
You know what's really interesting? I think people forget that fashion is just that. It's a business. It's a business that's predicated on you knowing how to raise funds and capital for the business, how to manufacture whatever product you're going to be making, and also how to sell it, how to market it and how to sell it, so the retail aspect of it. And having that master's degree in organization, that business degree, was perfect. It was a way to kind of say, here's a product, here's a garment, how am I going to sell it, right?
Right.
What does my consumer want? How do I even price it? So that it's competitive in the marketplace. So my fashion degree married with my business degree was perfect because it's 2 sides of my brains, right? The logistics side and the creative side. And I think when you're in a business, you know this, you have to be everything, right?
Yes,
you have to be the maker and the marketer and the retailer, all of it. And I think both of those really helped reinforce that for me. And I think that's been part of my success.
And so what would you recommend for a young girl, even a young boy, on wanting to go into business, into fashion? How would you start with, what would you recommend for that young entrepreneur?
My recommendation, and even with the classes I teach at Arizona State University, is just this: know your business. Know every aspect of your business. I get students that say, I want to be a designer, and I say, excellent, do you know how to sew? They go, oh no, somebody else will do that for me. And I'm like, will they? So you really have to know the business. Yes, somebody may sew that for you, but will you know how to pivot and fix a problem, right? And create a pattern of your own. So for young entrepreneurs that want to be fashion entrepreneurs, I tell them 3 things. 1, learn how to construct. You need to know how to cut, you need to know how to sew, you need to know how to make patterns, right? And it's a process, but learn the process. 2, learn the business aspects of running a fashion business, right? Learn about this garment. How much is it going to cost me to make this garment, right? Profitably. Because these are not hobbies, right? So if I made this garment, how much would it cost me? How much is the fabric? How much are the notions? How much are little things like the tag? All of the things. So know about the business aspect of marking up a product.
And time.
Oh, my goodness.
And time is money.
You got it right on. So many times students don't factor in the cost of their time. I'm like, I don't know about you, but my time's not free. So if it costs me 5 hours to make this, that's going to be embedded in the cost of the garment. So that's the thing we don't think about. And the last thing is learn to be a good salesperson, right? And that's not just selling the product. The sales of the product is actually also an extension of you as a brand. When you're out there, networking and meeting with people, is your brand believable?
Right.
When I say I am the designer of Black Russian Label, do you believe it, right? Based on my appearance, based on what I say, based on how we interact. And so that's what I always tell them.
Where did the name come from?
Well, so interestingly enough, I always tell people, when I was thinking of what to call the business, I could not think of anything but what I was. So my mom is Russian, my father is Nigerian, and I was born in West Africa. So I remember having this conversation with my sister, and she was so sick of me calling her. And one day she goes, literally, how many Black Russians do you know? And I went, what a great idea. You're right. And that's what I'm also teaching my students.
Okay.
A brand has to be
You.
absolutely,
Has to
genuinely
own it.
and then authentically you, right? So that's where the name comes
So
from.
exciting.
Thank
So let's
you.
look at your
Absolutely.
clothing. Where do you want to start?
I brought you just a few pieces to kind of show the new kind of direction we're going. So this is a new collection called
I tried
Chic
this
Tribe, right? It's a reversible, lightweight coat. And really it's designed, we live in Arizona. You can't get a coat that's too hot, and you can't get a coat that's lined with fur. That just won't work here. So it's all about the notion of having your clothes do more than one thing. The brand is about versatility. I'm not a trendy brand. I'm not, gonna get something that's of the moment. I wanna design pieces that are classic, that people can keep in their closet.
Oh, yes.
Season after season, and pull it out and be like, oh, that's still fresh. It's still relevant. I can still wear it, wear this out. And not, it'd be like polka dots or something that was just of the moment.
And then we have the simple black
Yes,
dress.
but I tell you what, let me tell you, women, if you don't have this in your closet, and I love this idea of the simple black dress, because we kind of created a waistline here with the V-neck detail that you see that also meets here at the waist, and it's really to create this idea of a silhouette, an hourglass silhouette. And as I was telling you what I love about this, the sleeves detach, because
Yes.
they're zippers.
I'm a woman that likes to cover her arms.
Okay, so see something for everybody.
I love this.
Do you love that?
Yes.
Who doesn't love a little bit of sunshine,
Yes.
right? And that's exactly what this is, this kind of lemon, textured. And what I love about this, no closures. So you can just throw it on a pair of jeans, a little white tee underneath it, and you look pulled together. And that's really what the brand's about.
I look like I spent a lot of hours on
A
that.
lot of hours, and that's how it should be.
Love the zipper
right?
skirt.
That's one of the signatures of the collection, the two-way closing zipper. So depends on where you're going, right? We don't always want to show everything, so.
These mystery.
Yes.
These are fun pants.
Thank you. Lots of fun, and this was from one of the first collections.
I would put a red blouse with this.
See, and I would do something green,
Okay.
or I would do something yellow, and that's what we were talking about earlier. Try not to match.
Yeah.
Things should complement each other, not match.
I just want to pop.
There you go.
Now this one I like as a
Yes.
work dress, a little sexy, but yet professional.
Right, and this is our take on the whole idea of a pencil skirt. And the asymmetrical hem just adds a nice little detail so you don't look like everybody else,
Gives you a
right?
little fun.
A little something. Yes,
Woo!
right?
Oh,
We're talking
one
about
sleeve.
one sleeve. One sleeve, and I'm a pocket girl.
Yes.
I'm all about, if you're running somewhere and you need to put a little lipstick in there, pockets. So that's
me
the one
all
thing.
the time.
And then playing around with some wonderful sheer fabrics, again, that are in this muted tone, so you can really match it with anything. This
Anything.
is a throw on over a pair of black pants and you're out the door.
Let me see.
Right, there
Throw
you
it
go.
on right
See?
here.
Look at that. We've got a whole ensemble.
Yeah.
That's what the label is all about. Just having pieces that, can work together, and that you can have in your closet for years to come.
Where can I find you?
BlackRussianLabel.com.
Oh, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for teaching me about fashion.
I don't think you need any help. You look pretty great.
And thank you for teaching students, modern
pleasure.
students in the new generation to understand what fashion and the fact of what's happening in fashion and
Yes.
the ethics of fashion.
Yes.
That is so exciting because
Yes.
that is what's needed in order to learn and for the next generation to understand, I guess, not necessarily the framework, but kind of, not even the boundaries, but understand why it's needed.
And to also change the narrative in fashion. I think it has been such a myopic industry and it doesn't show all of the diverse representation. So
Correct.
I'm really on a mission to create more inclusion in fashion so that there are more of yous and me's and others that represent this industry shown in magazines and on runway. And the only way we do that is by putting out a different kind of designer. And that starts with the
And a
curriculum.
different narrative.
Yes, yes,
That
an
fashion
important
can
narrative.
be
Right.
inclusive,
Yes.
and access,
Yes.
provide access. There's enough of us out here that believe in fashion and know how to design.
And spend money
Yes.
in it.
Oh, I spend a lot of money.
I do too. So yes, and so that representation is long overdue.
Yes. So thank you once again.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
I'm Councilwoman Laura Pastor in the heart of the city, Rockin' District 4.